everyone, I'm Jason from Trading Games, and today I'm bringing you a video on the Atari 5200 kiosk. This is another really neat piece of my collection. I'm really a big fan of the old kiosk, and this 5200 does not let down. This thing is also a beast like the other kiosk. The only thing special about this one is it's only about 32 inches wide and 32 inches deep, but the weight of it amassed in that little small area makes this thing almost impossible to move. It's also about 7 foot tall, so squeezing this thing indoors is almost impossible for standard 32 inch wide doors. These little handles that stick out about 1/4 of an inch actually have to be taken off to go through almost any regular sized door. The unit itself is really beautiful. It's made by Atari's arcade division. They put a lot of development into this thing to really stand the test of time, because they had already had the 2600 kiosk out and seen other kiosks failing. And this thing is built like massively thick. It has 1 inch thick wood on it, all real wood, laminated, big huge metal corners. It's super durable. This thing took some abuse. Behind it in here is a standard arcade monitor, and it actually has an arcade power supply down here in the bottom, which I'll do a little pan of that also. Now, if you've seen some of the vlogs, or if you want to go back and look at some of the vlogs, I'll have the link below. This monitor actually went out on me. After owning this thing for 10 years, the monitor stopped working. So me and my friend took it apart, and it's just a standard, really used in most arcades in the time, and we were able to do a whole new cap kit of it. And I'll actually do a little pan away of that too, of showing me a couple of weeks ago, you know, happy that this thing was back on, and then the broken capacitors. Alright, right in the middle of this video, I just want to show you guys we got this thing all working again. Just got done doing a whole bunch of recapping the whole entire motherboard of the monitor there. Found one that actually had blown, and the electrolyte had leaked out of it and was running across the board, so that was probably our culprit. But whatever the culprit was, now with all the caps replaced and a new flyback kit, monitor's looking good. We got the vertical and horizontal all set up so that the bezel will look really nice on here. So once the monitor is actually in here, you know, and set up, this actually gets a piece of plexiglass put in front of it with a standard arcade bezel around the monitor. This gives it a really neat arcade appearance look, but keeps people from being able to touch the TV and do any damage to it. It has 3 light bulbs behind here, as you saw, but I only use 1 to light this up. Other than that, it's just too bright. And then it has actually a light bulb underneath here that shines down onto the system. What's really unique about this also is it's a modified 4-port system that they put into here. Those typically had a weird external power supply through the antenna hookup type deal. And what they've done is they've actually split the audio signal and split the video output to go to this. And the audio actually gets fed to an amplifier, which is sitting down here on the trays, and fed up into these speakers back here on the back wall. So the sound out of this thing is actually really impressive with that external amplifier. So another really neat thing about this is, you know, for the store demonstration purposes, these controllers are actually, you know, built into the kiosk here, are nothing like a standard Atari 5200 controller, which we all know is pretty horrible. But this actually just, you know, gives the full action like a regular controller and the keypad. And then on the left-hand side over here and right-hand side is fire buttons, you know, both fire buttons. And then your start and your reset button are right here in the middle on this. So they've made a whole custom controller for this system. Now originally what these things would have had would have been a non-functioning 5200 sitting right here, and underneath on the trays was like a demo, the actual working unit, and these controllers would have been, the wires would have been fed through there. Before I acquired this thing, somebody had took the brains out of down here and put them in here, and then the controllers, they drilled a little hole underneath in the board here and then ran these controller wires. So this not being the prettiest setup, it does let you use these built-in controllers that actually work pretty well, because I have 6 controllers underneath here, original ones that have been rebuilt, and they still don't work very good. But you know, that's a whole different story everybody knows about with this 5200. So other than that, it's just a standard unit right here. And then what's really neat is you got this display right here, and it just turns by this knob, and this goes around in circles, and it lets you just see the control overlays for some of the games, like Soccer, Space Invaders, Star Raiders, and you can actually see what buttons you would hit on this keypad right here to make it work properly. So as you can see, I have Space Invaders in here right now. The game's already on. So that just starts the game. You can hear the sound coming out of the speakers. And then your fire button. So it's pretty simple. You just use the actual power, the button right here on the system. And you can swap out games real easily. So this was an early kiosk I added to my collection about 10 plus years ago now, I believe. I actually bought this on eBay. It wasn't much of a bidding war back then to get it. It was only a few $100s. But the big trick about it was about 500 miles away down in Oklahoma, and I'm in St. Louis. So I actually won it and said, you know, we'll come down there and pick it up. And we went down there with my van with no seats in it, and we actually were able to fit it in the back of the van. That way we didn't have to worry about getting wet. And this thing could be laid down on its side anywhere. It's built so well, the monitor doesn't move, it's all bolted down. So, you know, added to the collection quite a long time ago, but it's been one of the cornerstones of my collection since I got it. Alright, you reach the end of the video. This is exactly how I usually have this thing stored here. We actually move stuff out of the way for these videos so you guys can get a little clearer shot of the system. But this is how I usually have it all set up. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll bring you more exciting content of other kiosks really soon. Have a good one. Some of the things I go through for these videos. Rearranging. Labor of love.